Then the left hand moves to the 4 chord, which is F major. That's one of my favorites. That is so dissonant. I mean, by itself, that would get you thrown in jail. But the right hand is going to move and get a reprieve, get out of jail. And going to the 1 chord, which is C major, but not the right hand. Finally, it moves. The left hand moves back to 4. And the right hand then jumps there. And the left hand moves to 5, followed by the right. Now here's where you really put the polish on this technique. Instead of just hopping from chord to chord, we'll learn to move smoothly to close chord inversions. Now I know you studied inversions, and you've got them all down. In fact, you know, this is what I'm doing right now is such a powerful exercise. Take simple chords, if you haven't yet, and learn to invert them smoothly up and down the keyboard. Your hand almost has to be like a tarantula to get that smooth. Not very funky at this point, but you know what? This is really a fantastic exercise. Incorporate this into your practice routine, and you will not be sorry, because then you'll be able to do what's called smooth voice leading. When folks arrange for orchestral instruments or for voices, like in a choir. Let's jump ahead again. Here's a video clip taken from one of the sections where we're studying some of the real detailed techniques. Which is melody, is always more powerful. It always trumps harmony. So when you've got something going here, this is the more dominant sound because that's where you're going. So you would analyze this as passing tones moving to a G, a simple G triad, and going on. All right, you've got something to take home and work on already. But let's go further. I love to always add some fun to the music because if it's not fun, why are we doing it, right? So up next, we're going to talk about a recap of sliding grace notes, including learning to slide 2 notes at once for a new sound. I talk a lot about sliding notes, which is really a vocal technique. I've talked about this in many of my lessons. For instance, let me give you a C major triad, very simple. Especially when you're playing things that have a gospel feel or a blues feel. It's real nice to throw some sliding notes in there. For instance, when you're sliding from the minor version of C to the major version. And then you can do inversions as well. In fact, that's a fantastic study to throw into your practice routine every day. Going up and down the inversions, sliding the minor third to the major third. And then when you add some left-hand comp chords like we've studied in the blues lessons, all of a sudden your toe starts tapping. It's not straight anymore. Sometimes it's not easy to slide. What if you're playing a D major chord? Now the minor third to the major third movement is from a white note to a black note. You can't slide that with one finger unless you get your hand up there, but who's going to do that? You have to be an alien to make that work. When you're on C, it's real easy because the minor third to the major third is a black note to a white note. I have students ask me about this all the time. They say, what do you do? How do you make the slide here? Well, it's real simple. Finally, the last section of this lesson is devoted to a simple technique that will allow you to quickly develop syncopated rhythms with both hands. We're going to do something completely different now. Instead of just handing off to you one specific idea in the left hand, I'm going to teach you a very simple trick that will enable you to put together incredible rhythms with both your hands. Now I know this is going to crack you up because it's been cracking me up as I'm putting it together. We're going to say some Ray Charles stuff, the late great hero Ray Charles on the keyboard. We're going to say, Georgia, it's on my mind. And you're wondering, why on earth are you going to say that? I mean, aside from the fact that that's such a great song. Because that's a device that every single syllable in that phrase goes with this rhythm that I'm going to teach you. Let me just play it up to speed one time between C and G. Listen to this. Georgia, it's on my mind. Georgia, it's on my mind. Once again, there is so much material in this lesson. The full version is over a half hour and covers quite a few concepts, including a simple technique that will enable you to take almost any chord progression and infuse it with lush, interesting material, just by learning to delay your right hand movement. This is such a simple technique, but it really will bring lots of color to your playing. In the full lesson, we also look at an expansion of the sliding grace note technique. In past lessons, we've studied how to slide one single note for added flavor, but now we're looking at sliding two notes to bring a more aggressive sound to your playing. One of the most important things covered is how to slide a note from a white note to a black note. With one finger, this is almost impossible, but we work out a technique to get it done well. Finally, in this lesson, we're introducing a technique that is so much fun. It will enable you to easily play complicated, syncopated rhythms with both hands. You'll see how to incorporate a spoken rhythmic phrase, which in turn makes the rhythm on the keyboard very easy to play. Lots of stuff to work through here. My name is David Sprunger from PlayPianoToday.com. Thanks for watching this piano lessons overview of Tension and Release, Chapter 2. Now you know what to do. Go practice.